England is a country that is part of the United Kingdom. It shares land borders with Scotland to the north and Wales to the west. The Irish Sea lies northwest of England, and the Celtic Seas lies to the southwest. England is separated by continental Europe by the North Sea, and, well, to the east, the English Channel to the south. And you know what? The only thing that's separating us now from getting this game started is one pre-game segment, in which we will be trying to dissect if the Ninjas in Pajamas can take on Red Reserve in the fashion that NIP should be. My name is Trey Stunna-Saranthus, and
you cool?
Chad, what are you doing right now? We're kind of in the middle of something.
Yeah,
here.
well, I thought we could take a selfie and use the hashtag FACEIT.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to
like that? Yeah. Let's do that. Let's
get on in here.
Let's do hashtag FACEIT.
You guys are going to get real close. Oh God, the mic cables. Here we go. All right, I got my. That's the tongue out one.
Chad,
I look real good.
I'll give you my PayPal details later for that one.
What do you cost?
This one will be free. So if you just
All right. Cool.
So anyway, let's talk about the game here, boys. We've got Red Reserve. We've got the Ninjas in Pajamas, and both of these stories are two different ones, even if you look at it from a controversial perspective.
Well, NIP have been on this very turbulent journey, I suppose, whereas Red Reserve are more of the newer names in the Swedish scene, culminating to try and fight for a position in the scene and really show their worth. But I think the NIP storyline is the more interesting one, right? There's been a lot of roster changes for that team over time, and if you are an old school Counter-Strike fan, you would be you'd be well and truly versed with the name of this squad. Only left from the original team, which formed back in 2013, I believe it was, as Forrest and Get Right, who've been playing together now for God knows how long.
400 years.
It feels like it at that point. Now we have the newer addition. Rez is actually not one of the newer players in this team. Rez is the third longest tenured member. Dennis coming in, he brought over the I guess, in-game leadership role, but now that's gone. And Lekro, the most recent addition, and one of the more recent players in the entirety of the team to Counter-Strike, has been gifted the position of the leadership role. Which
is an interesting thing because he's not a rookie by any means, but also the fact that you're going to come in here into this lineup and give something completely different perspective-wise to just a varied core of how long these guys have all been playing or playing together, this, that, and the other. I mean, ultimately, Maniac, how could that one possibly play out?
Well, here's the thing. We don't really know the capacity or the ability of Lekro to actually be an in-game leader. Maybe he is a natural. Who knows? I mean, maybe he's very capable and things are going to go fine. But my impression would be that he's probably going to be a very loose type of in-game leader where he relies on individual good decision-making to kind of say, okay, let's play this area. I hope there's going to be trading, and we all understand what we're supposed to do in a 4v4, in a 5v5, or 3v3. That's how I picture it. I cannot really see him as a tactical mastermind.
Sure.
Or maybe he is, but we just don't know.
Most of that will probably come from Peter, the coach, right, in terms of tactics and the analytical approach, and then he's just the guy going to have to make, I suppose, the mid-round decision-making, because they should have the game plan in place. From there, they just need to make sure that they can evolve on the fly. The man on your screen right now was in-game leading. That was Dennis, and the style that Maniac's talking about is very similar to how they applied themselves. If you think about all the different iterations of NIP, at this point, it's a completely new team, just with the same name, because no longer it's the old identity of the squad. It's changed now.
It isn't the 87-0 NIP that we know.
No King of Banana.
No King of Banana. There's also a few other missing parts. But I suppose if we're going to talk about NIP, we should probably do that in a different time, because right now, Freya, the Slayer, is down on the sidelines, ready to deliver us an interview, I believe, with the Disco Doppelin himself.
Yes, that's right. I've managed to grab Disco Doppelin from Red Reserve. So how are you and the team feeling to be in London and at the minor?
It feels really good, as long as we come through to the major.
So you had a day free of games yesterday. Did you use that to practice, or did you go out and have a little bit of fun?
No, we've only been practicing so far.
So you've got your first game against Ninjas in Pajamas. How are you feeling coming into this? How have you been preparing?
We've been, as we said, we have been preparing these days. We've been here and the week before. And I mean, all that matters is that we beat NIP, and then it should be smooth sailing after that.
So do you feel there's a little bit more rivalry because you're both Swedish teams?
Yeah, because we have all played with each other, and it's gonna be a hard bet. Hopefully, we'll win.
Yeah, I was going to mention that you said you played with a lot of the guys on the other teams, such as Dennis. How do you prepare for that? And do you feel that there are any advantages or disadvantages to facing your old teammates?
Maybe a little bit, but we haven't played it in a long time, so nothing at all right now.
So we've seen NIP really struggle to make it to majors. I think it's the past 3 majors they've missed. Are you confident that you can come and be the new Swedish team on the block?
Yeah, of course.
Cool. Thank you very much. Confident words there from Disco Doppelin. Good luck in your next game. We're going to head back over to the analyst desk.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Slaya. Now, if we talk about these guys versus perhaps where they could be going, is this the new generation?
Look, it's a weird mixture of players, isn't it? I think when you look to the names of like Hampus and Roland, yeah, sure, the new generation. But Disco Doppler has kind of done the rounds in recent times, and then more so Twists. He's been playing Counter-Strike now for a very long period of time. Is still a youngster. I remember back in 2013, he was at MSI Beta playing with Modi and co. And that is that's just not around the corner by any means. We're talking like 5 years ago at this point. So this squad is like a weird hybrid mixture of players who have always seemed like they have talent, but have never really made it into either a Fnatic or an NIP.
No, absolutely, and also I think this lineup now has some months. They've been together for at least 5 or 6 months. Before that, it was under the Godsend tag. It wasn't Red Reserve before that. But they always been a little bit frustrating to me, I would say, in the sense that they obviously have a lot of individual talent. I think Brola and Hampus obviously extremely talented players.
Sure.
But Twist, Disco Doppler, and even Freddy are absolutely capable of taking over a game, that's for sure. And they've always had these ups and downs where they would probably just destroy a team or getting destroyed. And we've been talking at the desk of this baseline that a team needs to have when you have like a deep playbook and you have a structure to your game that kind of guarantees your level. And that's where I feel Red Reserve has been failing over the past month. They've never really had this like medium level, that security net that would guarantee them to play at least to a certain level.
They're probably missing that one thing that we were just talking about in the previous matchup that Kinguin have just brought in, Taz, you know, in terms of having someone who is such a storied player and so much experience within the squad, and also probably an enforcer. If you look at these guys, it doesn't seem like there's a clear vision for the team, right, on paper at least. It doesn't look like there is a real goal going forward. It's just these are the guys who appear to be not left over, but, you know, kind of the bits and pieces that haven't been picked up by a bigger name just yet, and they're trying to do the best with what they have. If you look towards like the silver linings or the future of Swedish Counter-Strike, names like Broland could definitely be one which steps up in a couple of years to be towards the top of that. He's only 16 years of age. We've got a couple of them here at the EU Minor, him and Sergey.
It's kind of like everything you knew, Chad, wasn't real.
Yeah, well, you know your age is the amount of times you've been around the sun.
Oh, my goodness.
Think about that.
The deep philosophies that come out on this desk sometime are just almost overbearing. You know, Maniac, what is your take on the times we've been around the sun?
No comment, I guess. I'm going to be Swiss on that.
Okay.
Interesting fact. Let's put it this way.
Neutral. Just like we would expect from a Maniac. Now, from that, I'm sure we could talk a little bit about these two teams in depth, but one thing I kind of wanted to bring up about Ninjas of Pajamas was the fact that this team, for all this change and all these moving parts that they do have a support structure behind them that are trying to help them find the right path. I mean, you know, they bring psychologists around, they bring all sorts of coaching tools, and at the helm of that, there's also Heaton at the very tip top.
Yeah, I just think the Swedish scene at the moment is all over the place. If we're talking about NIP specifically, I don't think it's not the best Swedish team. Same with Fnatic. Like, no one feels like the best in that region right now. It seems like there's lots of talented players who are all dotted over in different regions, and maybe people don't want to play with each other, or there's contract issues, or this, that, and the other. But if we look deeper at NIP, it's been a whole stage of rebuilding to get back to a point of living up to greatness. And when they had Rez and Drake in, I was saying these guys, they needed to be the new stars, the new generation, and then Forrest and GetRight would take more of a backseat and be just the backbone of the team. But that's kind of dissipated in my mind right now, because the way that they're taking it, Lekro making him the in-game leader doesn't make any sense in my mind. Dennis, obviously a very talented player. Then you look at the likes of Forrest and GetRight, still they can perform. We know that they can still do it, but it's not on that consistent level that we're used to knowing.
But anything is possible, Chad. Anything is definitely possible in a best of one, which is exactly what we're jumping into right now. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the vetoes and try to make some sense of exactly where this one lands. And you know, I don't know off the top of my head where this one goes, but I'm going to take a guess.
Well, what's your guess?
Inferno.
Okay, it's going to be Overpass, but
that Inferno is a possibility. I think we're looking at either Overpass or Mirage. That's where my Swiss money would be.
The Swiss money is good money.
Big banks.
Yes.
I don't really put it on the line.
I want to start a bank account over there, dodge taxes a little bit.
Just to have one? Or okay, well, never mind, Chad.
No, I'm just going to be upfront about
to
it.
Tax fraud
live
on
doing
air.
it. I'm not doing it right now. I'm saying I want to do it in the future. Catch me if you can. Anyway, look, I think we're going to probably end up on
this Overpass makes sense.
Yeah. I think for both teams, it's a map which they feel comfortable on, but they're more brawly teams on it, if that makes sense. They're more about like explosive strategies as opposed to the traditional Na'Vi, get full map control and be very late round. These guys are going to approach it a little bit differently. I also don't expect them to have the hyper aggression that you would see out of a Magic's Boy or like a Config on the CT side with just pushing up constantly. They're going to be playing the more baseline level of Overpass, which can be boring. Chad.
It's going to be Inferno.
Is it, man?
Just kidding.
Anyway.
Next time.
You tried, though.
There was a flip-flop there in my mental. Anyway, yeah, so it looks like we're going to Overpass, and it would appear as though, I mean, do we have a clear favorite in this one?
No, I think Chad put it pretty well, is that's a map that's actually well prepared and mastered by both teams. This is one of the scenarios where both teams are actually happy going to the veto. They could probably see that coming. Yep. Overpass was a definite possibility for this best of one. In that case, since I cannot really put my Swiss money again on a team, just tactically speaking, I'm just gonna go ahead and say NIP, just because of the players, maybe because I used to play when they were playing, and I still dream about this period. I don't know.
Still have that little soft spot right in the heart. Chad, who do you got in this one, man?
I am going to go with Red Reserve.
Okay, we have a house divided, and I'm going to go ahead and settle the vote. It's going to be Ninjas Pajamas. It's a long time coming, and these guys are going back to the major. Please, please don't do me wrong on this one. Like the people that I'm about to throw
the number one NIP
right
fan.
now, the biggest fanboys of all. And maybe, perhaps, if I could think of anything mean to say in Henry Greer's way, I would. But I just don't have anything left in the tank. So, take it away, guys. It's going to be Sadakiss and Henry Greer.
That's the best he's got, is my name.
Yeah, and I think that also, Cable, you're the biggest fanboy. I don't really care.
I used to be when Freiburg was there. That's
Freiburg.
That's when I loved it the most.
The King of Banana. That makes a lot of sense when it comes to you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
He was
Banana
doing
for scale.
I'm still a fan. I'm still a big fan of Chris and Patrick, of course. I was kind of surprised they chose Lecro over those two. Obviously, veterans and Counter-Strike legends. You'd think they'd be stepping up to the plate, especially with GetRight's new kind of play style. He doesn't really seem to be part of the fragging so much. It's just kind of holding bomb sites and holding choke points and stuff. I thought he'd be the shoe-in, and he's been an in-game leader before on 1.6. He's very happy to do it, but feels like the team wanted it to be Lecro. We'll see how that goes. I'm not that excited at the prospect of him doing it. Like, he's the least experienced player on this team, and he's got to kind of manage these absolute gargantuan players that surely want to play their own style. So I'll be interested to see how it works out for him. I assume he's got support from Pizza coming in, but a Swedish derby to kick things off here for them. Quite the interesting prospect, I would say. I'm not sure. Overpass, I know Red Reserve do play a lot, and they've got a decent little team here. They've got some household names in there. You've got Twist. Obviously, these guys were on Godsend before. Red Reserve's their new organization. You've got Freddy B, Disco Doppler, Brolan, a young player there who's very decent. Hampus as well, another very young player who seems to be very good. We'll see what happens with them. We're going to get into the action right here, right now, as we'll see a CT start for Red Reserve, NIP going for a fast B play, but looks things with all 5 players on this side of the map. Molotov presumably deployed towards the site. And it goes towards those barrels, I think, and the smoke there as well. It's very chaotic, but it's going to be Freddy B to open things up, but it's back and forth right now.
Indeed. Disco goes down. Dennis with a pistol kill, not surprisingly, is the man to find him. Red Reserve, formerly Godsent. The organization gone, the team lives on. Twist outside for Monster. Has to try and pull back into the site. They will get a bomb plant down finally now, as Forrest is the one to do so. They hold together as well. They want to double peek. The problem with doing that is not only that Hampus has found a great kill, but it reveals they're on the site and allows the entrance again from Twist all the way down at Monster. And GetRight is aware of the fact that he's not yet shown presence elsewhere, so likely he is going for a flank. Good, therefore, read by him to go to the stairs. That limits his backside from being tapped or spanked off by Hampus in the window, but they're on the defuse already. No kit, 10 seconds. He's got time on 10 seconds as well because Hampus is holding GetRight at bay. And it goes Red Reserve's way.
Well played, Red Reserve. As soon as Chris repositions to that graffiti area, even if they don't have a kit, it's going to be so difficult for him to win that round. He's got 20 HP, he can't really actively challenge. He's hoping he finds a really cheeky headshot and just stop the defuse coming in. But they had a nice crossfire, they knew exactly what was going on. As soon as Hampus got that kill from the Heaven area, it felt like the round was over. All GetRight could do was swing out and hope for the best there. As the defuse was coming in, he knew it. They'll be buying up AKs in the third. For now, though, it is the Eco. A couple of upgraded pistols there. You can see a CZ down a Deagle, P250 for Forest. At this point, you can see 4 rifles. This is perfect from Red Reserve. They know the AKs are coming out next round. They want to be prepared for those. They want to make sure that everything is absolutely covered. This round objective for them is to keep all 5 players alive. No one has to overcommit. They know the AKs are coming out in the third. NIP aren't the sort of team to force buy in the second. They're not that wild. Like a team like Na'Vi, for example, might just drop in a simple AK and then some Deagles around it instead of going for the third round AKs. We'll see what happens though. There's Forrest just trying to jump at the flower bed, doesn't quite make it, and as I said, very passive hold, crossfires. You don't want to be in positions in these sort of rounds where you can potentially go down with no sort of trade. It's all about the crossfires, making sure you're playing off each other, holding them at bay as long as you can with the grenades, and just denying that plant. amongst other things. If you get their plant down here in this particular round, that'd be amazing. You can even buy an AWP in the next round on the T side. Ooh, Dennis, not the in-game leader anymore, can focus more on the fragging. Expect to see some more high-octane CS from him.
High octane. High electric. We're going green, Henry.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's Formula E. We're taking care of the world now.
Solar powered.
Solar powered. Tesla solar panels. Hampus, again, gets 2, but they'll get another bomb plant on the NIP side as they overwhelm the site. Doing so, take out the player at ramp, but Freddy is still toward the jungle, and Rez has very little room to work with. Watch this flank. Rez down. Sight's wide open. Dennis, he may be a little bit late on this. Asimov, FAMAS, not something you see every day, and they realize where he is. They're already on the defuse once again this time. No kits, but it's still unlikely that Dennis can get anywhere near the site. In fact, desperate with a deagle to try and spray through the box. And it's 2-0 for Red Reserve.
But the bomb got planted, Matt. Like I said, then even an AWP's possible at this point if they really wanted to force it out. I don't think a team like NIP would. If I'm completely honest, they have lost their main AWPer, of course, now in the form of Draken. They brought in Lekro to replace. So it'll be interesting to see where the AWPing responsibilities lie. There are a few players who can pick it up on this team. Dennis definitely can. Forrest can. Lekro was actually doing a bit of AWPing for Fnatic before he left. So they've got options there, and it's very Swedish style to have many AWPers and no primary. Team Liquid have proven that you don't necessarily need a full-time world-class sniper available to you all times. As long as you've got someone very decent like Nitro and players like Twist can pick it up, for example, then you're absolutely fine. It's more situational. As the third round buy comes in, it will be a B execution by the looks of things here. Are there any defuse kits? There are. 3 of them available for Red Reserve. They've got 3 players in towards B as well. Here's the play. And good smoke so far. Freddy B trying to listen out for footsteps here. Get right will take him down. It's looking quite perfect by NIP so far. Lovely execution there. You can see the smokes just in the perfect position to stop any sort of incendiaries blocking their way. They've got a nice little path towards the bomb site. Flashbangs are good. Get right waiting for the reaction towards Monster. Classic lurking style. And there we have it. And we'll be Twist and Brolan remaining. The A players can't do anything about this. The B bomb site completely collapses, and with the expense they suffered in the previous round after losing 3 players, they need to save these 2 rifles. They'll have $1,400 per player into the next round. That means they'll have 2 M4s and potentially CZs, maybe a couple of SMGs. It's not going to be ideal. NIP, with 5 players surviving yet, are right back on track after losing the pistol. Great round by them. 2 kills for Reds. If you remember, the only real tournament victory in recent memory for NIP was Oakland last year.
Twice.
And
Twice
indeed,
they were Oakland champions.
And that's all they've really ever performed at. They haven't made a final since. And this lineup keeps changing at this point. NIP for the longest of time were known as a squad and missed out on the big transfers. Couldn't get the younger players, couldn't get the firepower. Definitely bringing more of that in now, with the likes of Dennis joining the ranks, and obviously Lekro as well, known to be a very decent, safe pair of hands when it comes to pure fragging. Got an amazing deagle on him as well to go with Dennis. That could be something that's very beneficial for them in terms of the force buy situations. Like we said, Deagles saved them forwards. Twist trying to make something happen here, and that's a bit of a miss there from Dennis. Should have had that one, but still, good trade by Forrest. 4-on-4. Twist tagged up as well. Hampus, Desert Eagle. Twist will go for another peek here. It's perfect. Takes the bomb down. Unscathed. Rez trying to respond with the smoke going down, but he might find himself in a spot of bother here. They're overcommitting 1 by 1. 4 versus 2. Forrest needs to find this kill, which he will. It looks like it's about to fall apart. Twist with an amazing job there. He gets an ace there, Matt.
Yeah, that's pretty
with
sick.
The boosts, the fancy footwork, the trades. He manages to carry the round for Red Reserve and shut down NIP.
Gets an ace. Gets NIP's first round on the, or sorry, gets Red Reserve another round. Why am I thinking Twist and NIP? He doesn't like them. He rejected them.
It's true.
But it gets his first 5 kills. That's where I was going with it. NIP gets shut down after the 4th round. We head into the 5th. They get AKs. Curious to see Hampus going aggressive with an AK on the CT side. I was trying to see if the op would, but it's him instead with Broland. So the fact that they get so far forward with these 2 guns, they can play off of each other. This becomes a problem for Rez if they want to try and work out from the playground. Dennis as well. Both go. Good flashes. That negates the problem, but there's the repeat, the bait and switch.
Oof, no bullets left on that AK, my friend. Goes to the reload, 4-on-4. NIP will be happy with that. Oh, not with that, though. Goodness gracious. Lovely shot from Hampus. Takes down Forrest at the T-steps. 4 versus 3 now. Rez. He has to be the playmaker. He has snuck all the way up towards long. He'll have no one in his direct vicinity. you can see them aware of the prospect of him falling back as Twist presumably nails this shot. Good awareness, good crosshair placement. And now it's a 4 versus 2. Remember, NIP haven't been at the last 3 majors. They won way back in 2014. Very different time. 4 years ago now. Just looking to get through the minor at this point, how it's all changed. Have to get right and Lekro to make anything of this round.
Get right already in this side as well. Oh, spots Freddy fires early. If he had been able to evade him or get a little bit closer to the ramp, he may have been able to spot out where Disco's playing from. Still has to hold with Freddy. Disco's going to slide in. Still, though, they get a palm plant, so another for NIP. That's at least been consistent for them. But Freddy with the kill. Disco undetected. And Monster covered off. That's everyone. Go for the defuse. Red Reserve looking sharp. And it was Chad on the desk that actually picked them to beat NIP.
Yeah. I guess after their performance...
NIP can't make it through this minor. Holy moly.
After their performance in Cologne, you can't be feeling too hopeful for them. Like, objectively, you just have to say they're not looking themselves right now. I spoke to Chris yesterday. He said, like, it's going to take time for this team to develop and stuff. I'm not too worried about it. But that's all well and good. But still, this is the event you really do need to be at. It's been a long time coming. And not making it through this minor with the other competition that's here, they are the biggest name at this minor. And you'd think it's about time they really had a showing at an event like this. It's not even the major, it's the minor to get there. So far, not looking too good for him. 4-1 down. It is a CT-sided map. For now, though, not even a partial buy. I'd call this an eco of no armor. A couple of flashbangs of smoke. It's not going to pistols. I did say Lekro and Dennis is quite a tantalizing setup if you think about the Deagle potential there. Dennis is considered one of the world's best pistol players. Lekro got a disastrous Deagle as well. First pick there from Freddy B. Nice job. Brolan, is he alone? He has got backup from long A, so just nice little commitment here. Not too much danger for him. Dennis has got no utility to really attempt that trade. He'll just be holding up and hoping a mistake comes through. Nothing so far. Brolan spot another, presumably gets that shot as well. Another clean sweep by the looks of things for Red Reserve here. Just get right. Solo with the bomb. Down he goes, 5-1.
To guns again this time for NIP. Obviously, the round they won being on the 3rd means, although they've got so many bomb plants, means they've only got 3 rounds now, lost bonus, but the bomb plant's certainly beneficial. Not one in the last round. Bit out of sequence with our buys, but still. Guns nonetheless. AWP for Twist, not one on the NIP side.
Well, yeah,
they don't really have.
They could get. I think I saw they could maybe get a glass cannon, but then who's going to pick that up? Like, there's no real designated AWP. You think, right, you can make something happen here. On the CT side, they've got plenty of options. T side, not so sure. Twist will be finding an opening kill. He certainly is the designated AWP for Red Reserve. Finds an opening kill, takes down Lekro. He's up to get right now. He'll be absolutely destroyed here by the positioning of Hampus. And up here collapsing. Remember, this is the first showing with the new in-game leader. And sometimes when it's happened, there's so much on the line. You can find yourself getting in a really compromised position where you have such a poor showing in the first opening game. You're just like, oh, is this going to work out for us, boys? Is this the right time to experiment? Do we have to revert? Get one of the veterans in? Very early days, of course, but we'll see if they can pull it together. Haven't seen much apart from that B execution yet in terms of mid-round calls. 5 versus 2. Red Reserve just completely mauling them right now. They can find a couple of kills or boost the confidence, but Forrest and Rez, 2 of the key fraggers of the squad, luckily don't suffer the fate of an AWP bullet from Twist there towards long just yet. Smoke deployed though, and Forrest definitely can make something of this. Not really looking towards this area. Molotov towards the truck. Forrest just trying to get intel here, but time is just ticking away. He's got the bomb. Disco Doblin behind, and that's going to be the round. Rez can't survive this really, because as soon as he falls back, I'm surprised. Disco's waiting for you. 6-1. And it's getting a little bit awkward now because they don't have enough money to buy again. There are 4 side lost bonus. No plants have really come through recently. Have to take another eco here or partial buy, of course. 7-1 looking likely, but they always can win these rounds. All it takes is a snowball effect, an opening pick, and pick up a rifle. Players like Rez or Dennis can carry the situation. We'll see what they come up with.
Nonetheless, Brolan back out toward the picnic. You want to go on a picnic?
Well, now?
We'll just get McDonald's.
That's fine. Yeah, we'll Uber Eats to McDonald's over here. And
yeah. Twist gets Lekro. Good start again for the AWP. No response from the Pistols so far as Brolan backs to the party sign. I'll get a Big Mac.
Shake, strawberry.
Oh, you know me so well.
Yeah, I know that's your favorite.
Dennis destroyed. Twist spots him down the lane. Just fired along the wall. I don't know that there was enough of a gap. I'd have to see from his perspective, but nonetheless, it's a kill. And it's Rez get right in Forest, perhaps just waiting to die at this point. Doesn't seem like they have much of a game plan at all.
Yeah, there's no real promising signs from the formation. A lot of these rounds of the players we described, you think they'd be quite deadly on these sort of rounds. They don't even get close to a kill. No damage inflicted apart from that Molotov at the end. They have another buy. Can't really afford the orb once again. 5 rifles it is. I would say with this kind of squad you got right now, you probably don't have the most experience in game leader. Maybe let's start some contact plays. Let's try and just gang up. We've got firepower and bucket loads here on the NIP squad. Look at the names there. Rez, Dennis, Forest, Lekro. Get right holding a flank while you guys go in. Like this should be working. You should just be able to just walk in the bomb sites and duel people with those AKs, but you do need the tactical assertion at the beginning just to get you in positions where you can find those duels to begin with. You can just throw in a B contact play at the beginning of a round, maybe once a half, maybe twice. Dennis, glad he's not in the in-game leader position at this point. I don't think it really was too successful for him. I think he's had little experience with it in Fnatic before, but that's when Fnatic started to
It was out of necessity as well, more than anything, which may be the case with Lekro. I mean, we always say this, like, oh, this guy's suddenly going to be an in-game leader. He's not an in-game leader. Eventually, look, no one's an in-game leader when they start.
Sure.
It's not so much that they're transferring 1 HP. Oh, my goodness. It's not so much that they're transferring into it. Like, that's how they're found. So maybe it works for Lekro. It's just desperate early on. It takes time to learn that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, at this particular event?
A minor, yes, going in. And not just a minor. For NIP, this is so much more.
Let's do it at the Star Series, something like that, where loads of teams, lots of days. You got like a Swiss format where you can get warmed up into it. Like, the gravity of losing even one map in the minor is so significant for a team that's been struggling to get through it. Surely let's just get one of the veterans on this role. Let's get right on it. He hasn't got too much pressure in the mid-rounds. He's holding angles usually. Can hunt for information in his sort of role. He's definitely done it before. And you're just putting so much pressure on one of your key young players like Lekro. Obviously, I don't know all the information, how much practice they've done with it, but just breaking that down, the options and tools they have available to them, was this really the right decision? I'm sure time will tell, but it's not looking too good right now. We'll have a look at their defaults as they start to slowly but surely make their way through the bathrooms. They have got some decent mid-control here, but Brolan is allowing them to have it. His position suggests he wants them to have bathrooms control, be baited in by the AWP of Twist. Smokes to come through. Pretty standard execution. Smokes towards bank. CT steps. Can they flush out Twist, though? He just wants to be firing off one shot now to bait in his teammate. Didn't really happen. Not an amazing amount of coordination there, and misses the shot as well. They can even fall back and go towards B now at this point and leave Forest, just causing a nuisance towards the A side, but it doesn't look like the rotations are coming through. Hampus, very comfortable to stay at B here. So is Freddy B. And they will find the initial kill at least. Can they find much more? They certainly can. My goodness gracious, Matt. It's all fallen apart once again. Opening pick, and Necro's decided to fall back towards B. They had the pressure applied there. Twist was missing shots. He had players right up there in his face at the A side. They fall back towards B where they had no one already through Monster or up towards short, and there was no time remaining to even fall back. There was, what, 25 seconds when they made that call? You can see when they finally commit, 10 seconds. So they're fully committed and no one can give a call off. No one can wait to get a trade. They just have to run in and try and get that bomb down. And if you're running into a bomb site and you're just going for the choke point at 10 seconds, that suggests that call wasn't the right one. No. That's too much of a high-risk move.
Well, it's not looking good from NIP so far. This is the opening game of the group for them, so either way, nade goes in, tons of damage. They're still running and trying to gun, but not getting much done with that as Lekro finally burns Freddy alive. Disco's still in place toward the sandbags as no one went water. Now Dennis does! Now Dennis does! And gets 2. If his timing was earlier, maybe the opportunity didn't exist because they wouldn't have both been looking the same direction, but he may have been able to save a few teammates. He suddenly finds himself in a 1 versus 2, needing 4 kills in total to win out the round.
Lovely work with that CZ. Executed both of them in the side. He has got time to work with here. If ever there was a player on this squad to pull off a round like this, Dennis would be in the conversation. Absolute master of the game when he's in form. Can he find that today? This is a round they desperately need. If he can win this one, it should be okay. They should be able to string together 4 or 5 rounds. Money's still very strong for Red Reserve. But winning a clutch always gets everyone fired up, especially when you're desperate for a round. If you can win an eco especially, that would be fantastic, but Maximum loss bonus at this point. Hasn't found what he's looking for. He's hoping to catch a CT off guard. Out of position, perhaps towards sewers. And now throws the incendiary and the smoke is fumble, but still not going to be a huge deal, but gives away his position somewhat. Bomb to go down. At this point, they can start triangulating around his position and keep him locked on the side. Twist knows it, hits it as well.
Does tell Dennis he's in the window, and great shot. Reads Brolan was going to be re-entering from the site. Knew he wasn't already on jungle side due to the Molotov, but still, it brings it to a one-on-one. Twist, is he aware that he's still there? Because the op shot could take him down. They're both on red HP, forcing Dennis to move, and he finally gets around for an IP. It took Heroics to find them just their second round.
Well, there you go. That's exactly what they needed. Cool as you like. Dennis steps up to the plate, manages to make it work. This was the initial couple of kills that got him in a situation he could win. As soon as he knew he was against the AWP as well, low HP didn't matter. 4 kills for Dennis, a second round for an IP, but still money is a factor here. You can see they're all fully invested pretty much, and there's plenty of cash for a couple more buys on the Red Reserve side, but it's a start. 8-2 now, good grenades towards Brolan. He might want to consider falling back. It's not even worth a duel really of 20 HP. As he'll stay by his teammate, getting flashed to absolute hell. Down he goes. I think falling back there was a much better option. Getting the crossfire, play passively. And they've been punished by that play before as well. The flashbang, exact same flashbang as we've got them before. It's got the top flash, lands right in the corner. I think they'd learned their lesson. Not sitting in that crossfire. It seems like NAP have got their number in that respect. 5 on 3 though. Could this be the start of some serious momentum for the Ninjas? Can hold up now, wait for the reactions. Bait out the remaining utility of the CTs, throw a Molotov to get themselves a bit more map control. Joined by a smoke towards the bathroom entrance. And now the execution will come in. They've got long control. And this looks like a bit of a fake, actually. Remember, we have said the calling has been a little off the mark in terms of the mid-round decisions. But they've got a huge advantage now. They've smoked in towards A. They've flashed there, going to leave Rez in the bathrooms. And the rest of them are going to rotate towards the B side. They've got in towards Mondstadt. This should be an NIP round. I can't see this falling apart at this point. Oh, hold on, though.
Yeah, they'll prove you wrong somehow, Henry.
They've got the Molotov down. That should be a plant at least. And this is heavily stacked in their favor.
Hampus does work out toward the balcony from window. Smoke down. He won't be able to see Forrest as of yet. Step backwards, and he might. Smoke dissipates, and he will. Get right not peeking the window means he's got that availability to him. Forrest, though, is aware of Get Right's position, doesn't really need to move off the mark. Rez is also going to flank out Hampus and surely spot him easily. Oh, I say that. He thought he was clear because on the ledge, he was actually too far right of the window to be spotted directly. Now he makes noise and gets the kill. They would have thought window was clear due to Rez's call. It's still not going to cost them the round. It's going to go 8-3, but still costs them a little bit of money in doing so. Thankfully, from NIP's perspective, it's back-to-back rounds.
Absolutely. Looks like 2 CT players will survive him. Maybe not. Rez should be able to take down Hampus almost. Not quite. He will save the AK. So nice work by him. Cost it. Made it very expensive, sorry, for NIP, and got a couple of kills towards the end. Only 2 of them survived, but they do string rounds together. They don't get fully reset here, which is good news. Yet to see a single AWP on the T side here of NIP. And the Red Reserve, a team I don't think anyone considers favourites here, but definitely could be a surprise package. They've got skill there. They've got experience. They've been a squad for a while now. As Matt mentioned, they were the godsend lineup for a while before the organisation closed its doors. A tactical pause now. They've gone for a single AWP setup. But Disco Doppelin with 10 grand could join with the double AWP setup. There he is. Not going to happen. So 4 rifles, 1 AWP. Still with residual cash there for 1 more buy. 8-3 in total. There's Hampus. As we'll get into round number 12 here. Hasn't been the most electrifying game. Very standard stuff so far. Dennis's clutch stands out. But was that an anomaly? Can NIP do much more here? Going to need 5-6 rounds, I'd say, to be comfortable. They are very well versed on Overpass, generally speaking. But so are Red Reserve, considered one of their better maps.
Yeah, definitely. And showing that now. Still money available to them. So still work to do from NIP to bring this half back into somewhat of a respectable scoreline. Dennis. That's a ward long. Rez trying to do the same. Op shot doesn't land from Twist. That gives Rez a bit more room to work. Wiggle room, as I call it, Henry. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Dennis still going to clear out bathrooms. So they have pushed the CTs off the front side. The problem is they haven't done anything along. There's actually a player still in bathroom connector. Dennis may be aware of that and the fact that they haven't done anything with res. This is where you have to look at communication from NIP. If you're going to take long and not clear the bathroom and go beyond it, you've got to go backwards for it. Spotted. Now it's absolutely Dennis that should take him down. Takes damage from the flames. Still no response from Twist. Obviously was too focused to hear it or identify that he did.
Indeed. That's a great pick, though, but Dennis might overcommit to this one. Luckily, the flames protect him. He isn't able to get one, but still, again, they go back towards B, and this time Get Right strikes. Could have been a spray down there from Hampus, but this should be the round now. Disco Doblin so far removed from the situation, he can't do anything about this plant. Well done by NIP. Really are focusing on these little fakes towards A when they have 3 players headed towards B. So the call's starting to come together. You can see what they've got in mind. Could have got a bit dicey there, all of 3 of them going through Monster, and the spray down from the AK, if that connects, could be in a lot of trouble. Disco Doblin spotted, though, in the bathrooms, gets the AWP, wants to try and save that. You can see they've got 1 more buy available to them, maybe a bit more if he does save the AWP. 8-4 now, 3 rounds in a row for the Ninjas. Another best of 1, of course, to decide who stays in the upper bracket. Let's go. AWP in his own right. Shows us what he's made of. Makes him expensive again. That signifies the hunt is over, and they'll have to let him save the AWP. Yep. Finishes the round with $10,000 in AWP. He can drop for Brolan. Plenty of cash in that respect. Well, they go for a double AWP setup, though. We haven't seen that from them yet. Disco definitely could join in with the fun with Twist. Gives the AWP over there. Will he buy himself one? There they are now. Tactical pause. Allowing their coach to jump in. So maybe they want to change the pace here. Maybe they want to go a bit more aggressive. Maybe focus on the connector a bit more. That's where Twist found the opening pick with the AWP before. Disco's still yet to buy. They're considering the double AWP setup, I think. He's got 7 grand. Hasn't purchased a single weapon so far. Drop the AWP to Twist. 3 seconds. Oh, they've called, so, yeah, they called the tactical timer right at the end, so
yeah, but, yeah,
they get a bit of extra time.
Yeah, because it resets freeze time, does it not?
Yeah, so you do call the timer like at 1 second, then the 30 seconds begins.
Right,
so
of course, but my point, no, see, okay, because my point was that you're going to get that freeze time no matter what.
Sure, yeah, sure.
So it obviously resets the freeze time, giving you an additional 15
seconds.
Exactly. Yeah. So Forrest holding now with the AWP. Finally, they get one on the T side. 8-4, 3 rounds in a row for NIP. See if they can continue on a good form. You wore your pajamas yesterday.
I did.
Not today.
Well, I didn't want to jinx it.
Gotcha.
4 rounds now. It's starting to come together for NIP. You can see the system they're implementing. Very focused on defaults and trying to suggest they're in positions. And really, they're on the other side of the map ready to go. Definitely got the sort of players that can handle that responsibility. Get Rez or Dennis up towards long in position. A couple of smokes down, they can go in and get a kill. Dennis got 2 in the previous, and Forrest opens things up. That's the first time they've had a T-side AWP. Forrest wants to wield it. Dennis getting it down. What a fantastic little sequence that was from him. Very calm as he completely destroys the A site, and presumably round number 13 at the same time.
What a great read from Get Right. He knows that if he's going to lurk, he needs to go aggressive on the off-site. Freddy, meanwhile, knows that they have to pull back the deficit, so he goes hunting, and still somehow Freddy predicts it. Perhaps Get Right is a man of habits, but the point I was going to make is he knows the CTs have to push out to try and find the map again.
Yeah.
And I thought Get Right in that position would never be checked. Somehow he was. Well done from Freddy.
I guess everyone's just too aware of what he's like.
That's the problem, right? I mean, it's, yeah. Anyway. Nonetheless, Twist trying to do what he can for self-preservation. Hasn't been taken down as of yet, but didn't hit any of the op shots and returned toward the window. We find ourselves now looking at a 5th round for NIP. Saving these weapons now essential as well for Red Reserve. Yep, know it. They'll go. Good timing from Twist.
Absolutely. Another round where they save 2 weapons, keeping their money healthy. You can see, even though they've lost 4 rounds in a row, they've been able to buy every single time due to the fact that they're just saving weaponry, especially the AWP, every chance they get. Brolan would have been better off, obviously, flashing that and going for the pick, but hindsight definitely is beneficial. There's Dennis, who a fantastic player with that AK-47 to commit towards A, find those shots. Double AWP set up now for the first time from Red Reserve. I was expecting this a bit sooner when they lost the first 2 rounds. There it is. Disco gets it done, finds Rez at the very start of the round, falls back. That's job done. They can wait for an IP to make their move now. Oh, my goodness, that was brave, but the grenade didn't do as much damage as I thought. Get right, we'll just try and spam in return. Forest now still on the AWP. It's reminiscent of an NIP from years gone by. When Pitts was in the lineup, it was Forest AWPing on the T side, Pitts on the CT side. Maybe it's the other way around. I think it was. But he's always been pretty decent with the weapon. It's never a massive talking point on the desk about Forest AWPing, but it's always there for him if he needs to pull it out. For now, though, opening pick for Red Reserve as they rotate back towards that B side, where they found most of their success with those fakes. Less than a minute. Forest is waiting for anyone to go for a boost to try and get some intel here, a reaction play.
Forest and Brolan, respective sides of the take it sandbags. Brolan will hold back toward the barrels. Molotov lands out in front of him, so he's limited from his movement, but no reaction yet from NIP to try and take the side of man down. First time they've been a man down in a while, 23 seconds. We've seen this similarly when they went in at 10 seconds. You called them out for it, and that no one could really communicate. No one could get trades. Trades aren't required if you get openings, and that's what Get Right's done, but now they will. Forest, good response, takes Hampus, having already had Dennis go down directly in front, and it's all NIP on the take. Now they're looking like they've got their individual skill back. At the very least, you're right, it could have. That would have been bombed down with 3 seconds.
That was so dicey from NIP. I thought Disco was going to hit that for sure, and that was round over. There was no time to plant.
Imagine he wins that.
Yeah,
that one shot, and they had the whole site.
Honestly, that should have connected. I know Disco's more than capable of hitting that shot, so that should have been round. They were a little bit careless there. They ran with 5 seconds remaining to go plant. It's fine in the end, so can't talk about it too much, but still, Disco hits that, it's round over, and a 3 versus 1, and only 1 kill will be required. He knows it as well, I think. So he'll save the orb. That should be the last, though, of the Swedish gold. He does save the orb, though. You can see there is 5k on Twist. They can even bring out another AWP here and have pistols around it. Considering it's the last round next, they're going to buy anyway, but will they go for the double orb setup? I think they probably will. Twist now with 8 grand. So then full purchase by him. It's Freddy B, sorry. And orb given the Twist. He's just going to drop it for, and there it is. The secondary orb comes out once again. So they haven't really had too many ecos whatsoever. I can't really think of one. They've had weaponry throughout this first half, even though they've lost 5 rounds in a row.
Yeah. Twist. Down to the tunnels yet again. Get Right, meanwhile, is going to go beyond that, so he has to be aware of that door.
Is that a double nade to Disco Doppelin, who was boosted in the B-bomb site? Did they just completely destroy him?
Didn't catch it because I was watching.
I think he was boosted behind that.
Yeah, you're right, and they almost lost the gun.
And they did 3 grenades, I believe, to that position where they had the all boosted. They landed right in his head boxes, took him down. That's
almost went over the wall to the other side too.
Yeah.
They get it back. Thankfully, Get Right would have spotted that, so that's why they were spraying the wooden wall, because they know that someone was on the other side of it. Get Right often goes to that position inside of water as well. I mentioned it. Twist was down below. He's backed off, so they have control of the underpass. Bomb still dropped intentionally back toward the T-spawn ladder. Or stairs, depending on what you want to call it.
Well then. Opening pick once again successful. Flashbang bounced off the light there towards the bathrooms. Trying to recover the situation. Twist with a desperate couple of no-scopes here. Not going to work out for him. Lecro punishes. That could be the round in itself. 30 seconds though. If Brolan can find anything, there's a chance. But now the other 2 players segregated from the site, and NIP really has come online. Oh, 8-1 down. And they managed to finish off 8-7. That's not too bad at all. That's, of course, if nothing miraculous happens here in round number 15, they can't save. They have to go for it. Hampus, low HP, looking for any sort of open. That does spot the little shoot, but doesn't connect the shot.
He knows definitely. He's trying. 4 HP. Hampus can't really afford to go aggressive to get the kill. Now he will. Knows that desperate times call for desperate measures, and Forrest finds him. Freddy B gets Lecro back, but they know exactly where he is. It's now 6 rounds in a row from NIP, and an 8-7.5 as a result of it. Not bad.
Mate, the fact they get 6 rounds at the end there, that's pretty insane. 8-1 down to 8-7. That's going to be Red Reserve kicking themselves. How did we lose that lead? But it was questionable to start from NIP. Didn't look like they really had a firm grasp on how they should be getting to the bomb site, leaving it very late. Trades weren't really happening for them. But there we have it. All works out in the end. I can confirm GetRight's got Julies and a defuse kit. As a combo you can get now, the Julies was sort of buffed with a price reduction to $400. Diffuse kit obviously $400 as well. That gives you a bit more spam potential on the USP, not as much one-tap potential of course. Just a straight-up rush with the smoke going in. Indeed it is. Up to 4 hours to try and find some crispy one-shots here, but doesn't connect anything at the start. That might enable a bomb plant to go down straight away.
Twist. Good shot on GetRight, but Forrest gets Hampus back immediately. Watch for Lycro and Dennis particularly. Lycro's very good with Deagles, apparently with the USP as well. Nails Freddy, and we know how damn good Dennis is with a USP as well. He's on the flank. So bomb plant for Red Reserve, man advantage for NIP. No kits in play. Roland gets taken down as well as Rez picks him apart from the window, getting back out in time. Rez is going to double it up, and there it is. There's Dennis. Lycro and Dennis, they always get kills. Henry, I've been reading a book.
Okay,
on anti-gravity, and it's so good I can't put it down.
Nothing but gold as usual, Matt. It's a good one, though. That is good. We did see the Julies find a kill, I think, or they at least picked up. And it will be Rez to get the majority of the work done there as NIP managed to tie things up 8-8.
He liked my joke.
Yeah, he did. Wasn't bad, was it? Tracy's got a good joke. Maybe you can save it for the desk after this segment. It's about a duck.
Okay.
Going into a bar. It's pretty good.
Oh, okay. Did he mix alcohol with literature? Because that would be a Tequila Mockingbird.
If you just came up with that now, that's not bad at all. That's good.
Yes, I did.
Okay. No, it's not quite as sophisticated as that. It's more of a very literal
kind
of children's joke, but I like that.
Children's joke, okay. Yeah. I'll believe that one when I hear it. Lycro and Forrest cleaning up quite easily against pistols, just Hampus remaining. Speaking of books and literature, do you know why Shakespeare preferred pen over pencil?
Why?
Well, pencils always confused him, to be or not to be.
He's not even reading these guys. He's all is in his head, ready to go. I don't know how he does it. I can't really remember a joke if I'm put on the spot. But he's just got it all good to go. Well, there we go. It will be 9-8. Obviously, that was pretty much full eco. Here comes the third round, full put and Red Reserve, 2-0 now. As NIP start to look like the stronger squad. AKs, smokes, a couple of flashbangs. That's about it. Dennis. Arguably one of the most skilled players on the server right now.
I mean, I told you I was reading the book already on anti-gravity, and if I was reading these, it would be from a book, but you're right, I'm not reading it from a book. I put it down. A man in Romania told me to give my book a rest. GetRight takes out Freddy B. GetRight will retreat up the stairs, spots one more, but won't stick around for the fight, and Dennis takes down Broland. Things looking very good from the aggression, but Twist, good trade, good play from Rez.
Absolutely so. NIP, they can find double digits here and send Red Reserve to another eco. Be absolutely fantastic. Smoke towards B just to hopefully hold 2 players on that side of the map. They might fall back towards A here. Disco hoping someone boosts up or looks from heaven here for Rez. Great angle. He can get the shadow advantage if they walk in towards the bathrooms there and try and spot them as they cross towards the A site, but they haven't got that information. But GetRight's aware he might miss some details at this point. Rez also familiar with the idea. GetRight with a nice shot there. It's a shame we don't really see GetRight carry games anymore. It's been a long time since we've seen, like, wow, what an amazing world-class performance from him. Seems like he's really kind of fallen into a role where it's really just, I'll just hold the positions where it's one and done. I'll hold the flanks. I'm not actively trying to find picks here. I'm not going to be trying to make something happen. I'm not a playmaker anymore. I'm just going to hold the positions and win his rounds. And that's absolutely fine. If that's where he feels like he's more suited now and he hasn't got the same sort of impact he used to. Obviously, like we mentioned before, everyone is kind of aware of his tricks, and on Overpass especially, he was a bit of a master back in the day where he could just walk up either monster or short and seem to time it to perfection, even get towards CT spawn when players are on B. That was one of the things he used to do so well. We don't really see those sort of antics anymore. I guess with more firepower within the team, obviously the departure of Freiburg and Exist, he doesn't need to be doing those sort of roles anymore. You've got more skilled players available to you, and he's just filling the role that's required. So we'll see whether this is the minor where he can get the job done. There's a technical pause. You can see the admin's getting stuck in. It's Disco Doplin's having some issues. Doesn't look like it's anything too severe. He's adjusting the mic, suggests it's like a TeamSpeak thing.
Trying to talk to his teammates, see if they can hear him. Test 1, 2. Radio check. Car 92, radio check.
Coming in loud and clear, over.
get back underway. What a turnaround from NIP. At 8-1, I thought this was done.
Indeed.
I'm sure lots of people were having a good time on social media. Probably at NIP's expense.
Sure.
Given the minor difficulties they've had. Major difficulties they've had. Minor and major difficulties.
Indeed. Well, one player has dropped out. That is going to be Disco Doplin, so suggests he had to restart his game. Hopefully not a PC swap or anything like that. It looks like he's just restarting, getting into it. There's Pitta behind NIP. The coach was brought in. He was actually behind them at their major victory in 2014. Was removed. They've gone for a number of different coaches since then. But will he be able to replicate the magic that once was? And Disco Doplin's back in now. We're underway. Garen Forrest in the end. Lekro in the middle. If you are just joining us, is the new in-game leader. The newest member of the squad, given the reins. And it is the Eco now for Red Reserve. See, they've spent $2,000 into this round at the top of your screen there. That's what that number signifies. So just the Eagles, PD50s, and one set of Kevlar. That's literally it. No grenades.
Rez with the shot to Hampus. Hampus had a phenomenal first half. So far, it's only been 3 rounds. Pistol, now we're on the first gun. It's not been as flawless when we swapped it over. 16 kills, though, still.
If you remember,
he leads the way, tied with Dennis now.
I did say, if Dennis wins this clutch,
yep,
and that massive one, he got 4 kills, he's going to really get NIP back in this game.
Here's my palm. Read my future then.
Okay, it says here that you're going to be really rich, really famous, and really annoying. So
I think one of those things is true.
I was gonna swear there, but I held myself back. I thought it would be funnier.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, cheap humor. I
yeah,
get
exactly.
It.
But
we would never stoop to that level.
I'm making sure I'm professional this time.
Gotcha.
But 4 on 2, another eco. Not really much Freddie B and Twist can do here. They do find an AK-47. That's about it though. 30 seconds. Looking likely to be another round for an IP here. Dennis, AWP, watching the bomb site like a hawk. He's got to look at this crossfire. How can you really do anything about that with no utility? They've got an incendiary, but where they even throw it? Maybe on the truck. Try and flush Forrest out, but just such precise crossfires here. They can't even get near this side for a plan. There it is, the first kill. Bomb goes down. Look at that. That's just lovely stuff there. A real masterclass in how to hold that situation. Give them nothing. Don't even give them a jewel. Make them commit before they even see you. That's the way it's done. So,
Forrest gets the spawn. Dennis keeps the AWP. Thought maybe they'd go for him getting aggressive. He's going to go to the underpass, though, surely. Flashes over for his teammates. And down the stairs he goes. Rez goes through it with that flash and has the fountain. Little does he know, however, that one player has crossed over. That player will be spotted from long, nonetheless, though, if Get Right continues to sit where he is. And Forrest, this forward stance, this tactical aggression, he finds 2 on his own. They get the underpass. Now if there's a response at long, Freddy's going to have problems. He's already tagged at 14. This is a great play from NIP.
This is going to be 11 rounds in a row for NIP at this point. They were 8-1 down. When we get to 8-12, then that's going to be a difficult recovery for Red Reserve. Just the mental fortitude required to try and get out of this situation. You just can't find any kills, and Solo plays towards Connector, and you're not finding anything at all. It's another eco, but looks at things, or a partial buy at the very most. As NIP seems to be in cruise control now. Lekro, rough start into his inaugural game as the in-game leader, but it's all looking pretty good now. At least the pressure's off at this point. CT side, minimal falling required. You just need to change the setup. Every now and then, normally the players will say to the in-game leader, I've got a good spawn, I want to try this, or maybe we can try this setup, because obviously the in-game leader doesn't get all the information what's going on the sites. They don't know the tendencies that's being displayed. It's normally the CT players themselves say, oh, let's try this setup, let's go for this boost. It's not really the in-game leader that's doing that, unless he wants to try something hyper-aggressive, like this sort of round when they've called the tactical pause. If I'm Lekro right now, I'm saying let's go for the all pick middle, let's get 2 players pushing long, let's apply some pressure towards short, let's just really shut down whatever they've got in mind, whatever adaptation they're making to our more defensive hold. Let's see if we can really drive it home now that they won't get a single round here. We'll see what happens. Tactical pause obviously just gives a warning sign that things might change.
Absolutely, yeah. And yeah, yes, things might change, or very least, they're going to talk about communication and try and tighten up the ship, so you have time to counter that as well. Dennis, good shot to twist. Again, the AWP prevailing for NIP on the CT side, more so than it ever did, considering they didn't really have it on the T side. This time it's against pistols, and it is the man who also was opping quite effectively for at least the first 9 rounds on Red Reserve, Twist, that will go down.
8-1 up, and now 12-8 down. Red Reserve in a 5-4. Brolan Hampus tagged up and smoked out of the site. We've got 3 smokes remaining, but how do they use them in an effective way to even get this bomb planted? Here's a flashbang. Not even going to use the smokes, but looks things. Flash does nothing for Lekro. Should be quite smooth sailing here. Maybe they'll get a plant. Good grenade though for us. Out of position, does some significant damage. This could still be a Red Reserve round, you know. It's getting very awkward indeed until Dennis will be taken down. Get right out to pick up the pieces. We did say quiet until when needed. This is looking much better by him. He finds his final kill there. Nice little sequence by him. It looks like they're going to win the round regardless. Brolan with 7 HP. 1 bullet will take him down. But Matt, what is going on here? Get right surely still wins this. Get right. What's he done?
I don't understand Brolan. He was out of ammo, but Get Right made it very awkward. Could have been caught out by it. You can't get a kit?
No, he was trying to get the
you
AWP.
did get a kit. You're right. Getting the AWP already has a kit. Sorry, I missed that when I looked. And there's a kid on top of the bomb anyway.
Like, that was looking like a real nice little play from Get Right. Still couldn't land a single bullet at USP. I think it was like the 10 for 11 bullet that finally connects. Still wins around though, so not going to talk about it too much. It's fine. 13-8. 12 rounds in a row for an IP. Red Reserve get the plant though, so they can get the AWP out. AK's AWP. Dennis on the AWP now. So like I said, there's no real consistency. Sometimes a Swedish CS, you can just move the AWP around each player, depending on spawns, and when you want to change things up, I guess it's certainly viable. For me, it's uncomfortable not knowing you've got consistency available to you, having this solid AWP that's going to do the same sort of plays each round and know what works, what doesn't. But right now, I can't argue with any of the results NIP have got in the second half. Have been pitch perfect. Haven't dropped a single round. Look convincing to take this best of 1 and stay in the upper bracket here at the Minor in London.
Freddy working down the hallway. 3 to go. NIP. Twist. I do like a good plot twist. Usually I like it right at the end, but 8-1, it was about in the middle of this game.
Yeah, no one saw it coming.
Brolan already up to the front side of the bathrooms. Store open. Store? Door. Door to the store. What's for sale? Lekro. He'll try and find Disco. Doplin, shoulder
Selling
shows.
himself, is he?
I usually sell myself.
Your soul?
Soul, body.
Yeah.
Flesh is willing, but the mind is weak. Freddy takes down Lekro. Rez Connector tries to chase the kill. Can't do it. Forrest manages to bait them in, if anything. They chased it because they knew the damage was there, but Get Right held from the ramp. 23 seconds. Bomb is down inside of a site, and Red Reserve have to get desperate. Look at the HP as well. Get Right could have a shooting gallery if he's able to find Disco in time. Still wants to hold to let him peek first. Oh, he certainly does peek first. And gets the last laugh as the bomb is planted, though. Rez collects on everybody else, and Brolan getting picked apart on 23. Another round NIP.
Yeah, absolutely. Not really much he can do here. Best he can hope for is a cheeky kill. The AK then be traded out. That's not even going to happen. It's 14-8. The bomb goes down, though. The maximum loss bonus means they can keep buying. You see there's got a little bit of cash on the right side of your screens. So you still have enough for AWPs, AKs, and that's just them with the maximum loss bonus and consistently planting. 14-8 though, 13 rounds in a row for an IP. This has been disastrous second half, not picked up a single round here. Look on their faces, it suggests they might know this one's all falling apart and it's not going to be working out for Red Reserve. They said in their interview, all they've got to do is beat NIP and it should be smooth sailing from there. It was looking very promising and the battle plan was working out for them. At 8-1 up, we thought, oh my goodness, well, they've done it. This is going to be a stomping. NIP are going to crash out again, but they've managed to recalibrate and we'll see. Another tactical pause now for Red Reserve. Pretty much last chance now. We can't really afford to lose any more rounds.
Oh. An incredible run of form for 13 in a row now for NIP. Up again for Dennis, and Dennis will take that up aggressively toward the fountain. In fact, up toward the picnic. Flashes go over, they get, ooh, up on top. As Brolan gets around the corner and into a very clever angle that catches out Dennis. GetRight can't do anything from long at this point because they never peeked from the playground. As Forrest backs off at jungle, he gets ready to support those on A.
Opening pick now, finally found by Red Reserve. What's the play? It's nice and early. It's a 1 minute 20 on the clock, so can try and exploit the fact they have the man advantage, bait out these grenades. They don't have to commit right now. We'll see whether Lekro can pick up the pieces here. The new in-game leader. His teammates falling around him, but still possible to bring this one back. Maybe not anymore. Freddie B with a nice shot towards short. Reads the fact that CTs need a pick in response. But Forrest alive. 30 HP. Something tells me this could fall apart for Red Reserve. Just the way it looks right now. And they do have a Molotov to flush out the barrels. If they don't do that, I'll be very disappointed. They have. There it is. Okay, that's perfect. They've got the Molotov available. Let's not even have to worry about the barrels. Forrest spotted. Should be taken down. Nice work by Hampus. And there's the round. Clean sweep. First round in a very long time. The first of the second half.
And all 5 staying alive.
Indeed.
As you say, the clean sweep. I like that double take from Hampus. Ran by the gap. Went up. Wait a minute.
There he is.
Nonetheless, yeah, you're right. Good start, good angle from Brolan, getting up there aggressively, and then a fantastic shot as well to res reaction more than anything at that range. But you mention it, the clean sweep, that's important because it negates a reset potential when they go to the 15th round.
Indeed.
If NIP go to the 15th round this time. Dennis doesn't want to flirt with the front side of the smoke. Res will. Brolan did the exact same thing, and they predicted it on the NIP side.
Ooh, he gets away with it. This could be a horrible time to give a round up. You'd be 59 down, and it will be a reset as well. Luckily, they kept 5 players alive before, so they still could buy. But Forrest, great position to at least get 1 kill here, maintain that advantage. He's going to sneak around. Somehow missed the shot there. I think he dropped off the little ledge, lost accuracy for a split second, and that cost him the kill. Great positioning. I thought that was enough. Not quite. That was a chance for Red Reserve. As Twist makes his way towards middle. We hit the 1 minute mark, and Freddie B's been tagged up, but so is Rez. Waiting for those CT reactions again. Will anyone go for a boost? Freddie B just keeps spamming to deny any sort of chance of that. Hampus going 1 better. He sneaks through Monster. And that's the B side completely open now. GetRight's confirmed it. Nothing towards A. They are going to start heading towards that B side, but is it even worth going for this round if you're NIP? 5 on 3. Well, 4 on 3, I should say. But you have no presence at all towards B. There's smokes everywhere. And Rez is dropped. At this point, I think you're just saving.
Have to. GetRight's lurk not quick enough to catch Twist in return to the connector position, and therefore not able to shut them down. Going to be from the offside of the map. 14 rounds is still the score. Maybe we are going to get a Twist at the end.
Maybe we will. Who knows? It could happen. In more ways than one.
GetRight holding on. Takes down Twist. Nick didn't think you were that funny.
I think that was a sincere laugh.
No, I think that was making fun of you. Sorry. Look, someone's got to be honest with you.
Well, you know what? I'm just here for the entertainment value. If that's enough, if I have to make a fool of myself to do it, I'm happy with that.
Wait, you are here for my entertainment value?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because Kelly Clarkson told me that you weren't, so...
No?
No.
Is that a song reference? I'm not aware of? Okay.
It's fine. She's only like the first American Idol ever, Henry. Come on.
That's true. I should know my
She should
American
be on your
Idol
wall like a
history
massive poster.
Yeah. I didn't even know she was from American Idol. To be fair, I couldn't even name a single one of her songs. I don't know why I'm surprised. But anyway, let's get into the next round, shall we? Number 25 here, ladies and gentlemen. It's just starting to warm up as Red Reserve have come online in the second half, finally. Is it too late, though? Not quite yet. There is going to be a tactical timeout for the Ninjas as they orchestrate their next move. They've got the AWP in the hands of Dennis this time. He's got 21 kills at the very tippity top of the NIP frag charts. The top 4 Red Reserve is Hampus, 18 kills and 15 deaths. Everyone pretty equal in terms of fragging there. The bottom is Brolan with 11. Lekro 9 and 15. Is that something significant? Obviously, it's the first round. We can't really do too much, but not fragging is harder to expect now he's in-game leader. Especially with young players like him who are just right-out fraggers, right? People just expect just going to kill people, do amazing things. To throw him in to responsibility like in-game leader, I just still like, surely it's GetRight has to do this. He's the player with the roles we see right now is not focusing on fragging, he's not playmaking. He has the experience. Why is he not doing it? That's my main concern now. If you just take Lekro out of the equation, is this lineup going to work anymore? But anyway, 5 and 4. Gero goes down. Nice double peek there from Red Reserve. Seems they still have got some life in them. Yeah, looks like we'll go the full distance here. 5 on 3. All play for Dennis still. Can he recover this situation?
Is getting more aggressive this time than Christopher was able to in the last round. Still has some ground and distance to cover before he gets toward the backside of the map B, and that means they need to hold him off in taking the site. Dennis tries to do so with a incendiary that goes out in the sandbags position. But an off in hand, good shot on Freddy. I didn't think he was going to be ready for that angle at all. And having them walking him on, so they still get a bomb plant down, but he gets away. That does let Rez get a little closer, but making contact already with Hampus. Little he can do, and back up the ladder. They'll retreat once more. 14-11. Red Reserve.
They're doing it. Not over yet. This could force out something quite uncomfortable for NIP. Their options are now the round loss bonus they have available in the next round. You see $1,900. Will they force around the saved M4 and AWP or just go for pistols? I would say maybe pistols. We'll have a look. Red's holding up. They don't have to win the next round. They still have quite a comfortable lead. But Rez probably gets traded out here. Indeed he does. So maybe just PT50s go with this AWP now. We'll see. Might not even be CZs. What's the call? No tactical timeout, but looks of things. CZ purchased by Get Right. No one else joining the fun. Deagle for Rez. Very modest and conservative approach as PT50. So up to Dennis now. You assume he'll go for something a little bit wild at the start, get an opening pick and try and funnel them into a stack perhaps. He does go towards the top of middle, but Hampus has already made his way through Monster. Good flashbang, but he doesn't panic. Stays silent. Molotov in. Nice opening shot as well. That was quite beautiful. As he takes down Lekro, and Freddy B has got all the flanks covered. That's going to be round, and at this point, objective for NIP is just save the AWP. Dennis gives up the fact he has it, but he's still in a safe position, gets 1 kill. Round will be over, 14-12. Say they're right back in this now, and just in the nick of time.
Yeah, absolutely. NIP winning 13 rounds in a row from 8-1 down. Are now about to concede their 4th in succession to Red Reserve's T-side specifically. Bomb plant again, and it'll end with 2 players surviving from NIP's side. It's more important that that op stays up. Forrest will hear them clickety-clacking on up them stairs, Hank. Gets the shot as well. Could maybe, oh, second headshot on Freddy. I was going to say, could maybe get an AK out of that. The fact that he damaged Freddy as such meant that he didn't continue on to try and find the AWP. That is to the benefit of NIP.
NIP there with the buy. The AWP is saved. Hasn't looked as promising in the second half. We'll see whether Dennis can start making it work. Was brought in to be the in-game leader. Now, was given a few events, didn't really work out for them. I think Cologne was the end of his responsibilities in that regard because they came dead last. I think it was the most catastrophic finish NIP's had since their inception of the massive event. 3 maps played, 11 rounds gathered. And for a team of this pedigree, that really just not is good enough. So understandable why they made the change, but is it the right one? If they can win this map, maybe things will look a little bit more promising. But against this opposition, Matt, you'd think Red Reserve against NIP, that should just be a lock-in for NIP. We shouldn't be surprised they're winning it. It should just be right. Okay, best of 1. Yeah, they took that one down quite comfortably, I'd assume. Red Reserve, we don't really see them at many events. But so far, so good on this default. They have managed to get information. There's no one towards long. Bit of sewer control here from Freddy and Brodan. Still a 5-5, but not for long. Hampus completely dismantles Rez there. Had no idea. He was pretty much alone there. The setup really wasn't ideal. He was in the bathrooms alone, had no cover towards long. That's a bit of a gamble play. And this could be another round falling apart for NIP, but they still have 2 players by the monster tunnel. This could be Lekro and Forrest. Is this the final commitment? Molotov towards the barrel suggests it could be. Here they go.
Forrest, bomb down, good hold. Lekro goes back over and covers off the bags as well. That gives Forrest the room to retreat. He's lost Lekro, and he's lost his vision. 2 players approaching, but just with a little bit to look at. finds the bomb and takes him down. More so, Get Right finds Hampus, and that ends the round. We find 15 for an IP finally.
And they've at least guaranteed overtime then. After Red Reserve to get 3 rounds in a row now. If they can just win this 1 round, that could force an IP on an eco. You can see the reinvestment coming through. Get Right, $0. Red, 600. Even with the little bit of residual cash the other 3 have, 1,400 on top of that really won't enable them to buy if nothing is saved. So if you're going to close it out, now would be the time. Otherwise, you go 15-13 down, then an eco, and it all comes down to round number 30. So ideally, they finish it off right here, right now. Comfortable finish, don't go to overtime. Could say at least this was a promising step with the changes within the roster. Towards long we go. Looks like a run boost coming in from Brolan. Jump up. And again. Gets towards the rock. Dennis misses the shot.
Still trying to get an angle, though. As Twist gets the shot he's looking for. Dennis reveals himself. Brolan got res immediately before that as well over toward the connector. That's going to give them a man advantage. 54 seconds, and they'll go back to gather the bomb, but that man advantage has been absolutely taken back. Good shot from Get Right.
Yeah, great shot. No, he's got the AK, has to find something. Really precise headshot there towards middle. Lecro gets a flashbang from a teammate trying to investigate towards short. He has got Forrest with him. They can just finish this round off. They're in the clear, they're in the upper bracket, things are comfortable. Forrest, oh no, he's missing everything. That was on a play for him. Someone of his standards at least gets one there. Now it's up to Get Right. Fantastic. Historically in the clutches, we can only find one this time. And that's the nightmare situation, Matt, I just mentioned. Look at the money now. They have to take an eco for round number 30. Red Reserve know it as well. You can't really justify any purchases here. You want to make sure you have all your grenades. You can go for like P250s maybe.
Credit to Red Reserve as well, because when they lost that man advantage, they were going back to get the bomb. They still made it into the site and finished the round with 39 seconds. That was a 54-second mark. So they made a call and just...
Ready?
Cool, man. Ran it to the B site. Yeah, I don't know what that was.
I think he forgot to jump.
Yeah,
so,
well, definitely forgot.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to remember to do. Good find inside stairs as they try and stack it up and just get destroyed.
Absolutely taken down. 15-14. We are officially seeing all the rounds, and there's a good chance we go a little bit further. Another clean sweep from Red Reserve. They'll be fully equipped for the final round here. And IP want to be the same. That's why they took this pretty much full eco. You can see you Get Right still struggling on $3,900. Far from ideal, but they'll still have presumably 5 rifles. He might go for the FAMAS instead. He goes for the UMP. Opts for the grenades and the defuse kit. The only player to have one. What will this mean? Does he go for a very passive hold? Does he try and back up res in towards the bathrooms? And that's been a problem for them. They can't really handle long and mid control, it seems. Res desperately trying to make a play at the start, but it's always going to be quite ambitious at that range of the M4 with all the nades and flashbang flying through. Those shots don't connect for Foresters. He is aware there's players on the other side, but can't do anything about it.
Best nade bounced, whether intentionally or not. I thought he was going toward the barrels, but it also could be applied to anyone that was trying to go for the boost. Mr. Fred Flintstone will clear out the underpass. And Brolan does so from the top, so they've got map control and IP going very passive. Again, the palm waits at the stairs. Boost for pick. Oh, they could get the boost. Counter boost! Oh, that worked out. If Forrest was on top, I don't think they get anything. The fact that he just happens to be one step behind Get Right. Yeah. They managed to get the kill in return because he's at the ready.
Overtime looms. Time ticking away, though. Red Reserve need to work out where they're finishing up. It looks like B will be their primary objective. Brolan, the timing is just disastrous. The second he readjusts, that's when Rez comes around the corner. They've got the man advantage here. Forrest in the position he was pre-fired in before. Holding the water. 30 seconds here. Bombs on the back of Twist. That makes his way through Monster now. One opener is all they need. Forrest spotted. Flashbang's no good. Think so in response are Hampus low HP. This could be it. 16-14 game looking likely now. Twists. No time. 4 versus 1. That is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. As he can do nothing about this situation. It will be Forrest to close things up. They avoid overtime. They were down 8-1, but they've got the win. That's all they came here to do. Remember, we said it before, as long as you get through the group stages, that's all that really counts. No one remembers these opening games. Just getting through, staying in the upper bracket, and making things as comfortable as possible.
Absolutely. Staying in the upper bracket. We will also stay in the upper bracket because we go to our third best of 1. All you got to do is win 2. You're into the playoffs. If that doesn't happen, that's when you get into the best of 3 deciders, which we also have today, coming up soon.
We've got the whole group playing out today. It's
we do.
It's the whole thing. We did Group A yesterday, it's Group B today, then we have the playoffs starting from tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. So what do you think of NIP in general there? Are we seeing signs of life there after the disastrous Cologne?
After going 8-1, there was no signs of it. We said it. They didn't look like they were organized. They didn't really have a plan. I think Lekro wasn't maybe taking the helm the way that he should have. It didn't work out.
Yeah.
Getting the comeback and getting the rounds together in succession, getting the op rolling in the second half, there's signs of it, but it's not consistent enough. There's still a lot of mistakes and flaws that are costing them.
I'm not convinced.
That won't win you a top-tier game.
I'm not convinced that game was possible for them unless Dennis had that clutch. I really felt like that was the whole thing that got them back into it, really rattled the younger team. The Red Reserve couldn't really recover themselves. But with all that said, Matthew, that was a lot of fun. Congratulations to NIP. We'll throw it over to Parla, who's there with the winners.
Parla! I'm down on the floor with NIP. I'm sorry to interrupt a team talk, but we have to get it whilst it's fresh and hot. Great to see you, Patrick. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, very good, and I'm excited to chat. Firstly, let's just talk about Red Reserve as competition. You guys all know each other very well, but also you've been playing with each other at different times. Did that factor into this matchup, and what was it like playing against them overall as an experience?
I mean, I have not played with any of them, but I know Dennis, for example. Our teammates have played against them. So they're good friends, and obviously they're trying to get into each other's heads and try to disrupt them a bit, their mindset. But playing against them, it's always hard to play against such a strong team. They're good individual players. Brolan is amazing. Twist, they have strong players. But I mean, we closed it out. It doesn't matter the scoreline. We managed to win. That is all that matters, honestly.
With regards to the veto ending up on Overpass, was that part of the strategy? And had Peter been preparing you guys for that map specifically?
We were not really prepared for Overpass. I think they took a gamble on playing Overpass. I thought that it was going to be Train or Inferno. They went with Overpass, but Peter had done his homework and we were prepared.
I'd love to chat to Peter about that homework. What did you do in preparation for this matchup with regards to Red Reserve specifically?
Me and Lekro, our US team game leader, watched the demos together. We have been trying various type of preparations before games, so I'll try to keep it for ourselves, because if it's working, then we need to keep it for ourselves. But we studied them and we watched them, and really amazing players, as Forrest said. I think it could have gone either way, so big props to that team and those players. Yeah.
Talk me through the start of the match. It was very rough, but then you managed to mount a comeback, and then at the end it got very close again.
Yeah, I mean, we've been doing really good in practice. And what I noticed in the beginning of this game was that we became too serious. There was no laughing faces, there was no jokes as we do on practice. So when I took the time out, basically what I said is have fun. And we started to making jokes. Then it started to making jokes mid-round. Somehow that's when we started to climb back.
And how do you see the overall competition at this minor, but also in your group? Up next, you'll be going against Sprout.
Crazy. I mean, who would have thought 5 years ago that the competition at this stage, like we have still what, minor and major qualifier and then the major to get it. It's crazy. It's, yeah, I don't know what to say.
Okay. With regards to Ninjas in Pyjamas as an organization, I think the last major that you guys were represented at was over a couple of years ago. I think it was Cologne 2016, because the first E-League major, there wasn't a good result. And recently, at those moments, Ninjas haven't been able to perform. What would it mean to you and the guys to get through this minor and secure a spot?
It would mean everything. And I mean, the major is a major, and the best thing about this all is that we have incredible fans supporting us all the time. We have let them down a couple of times, but they're still there, so it's for them.
Definitely. And Peter, would you like to add anything else to those fans watching at home?
Thank you. I really mean it. We read your comments. We are doing this and hopefully make you guys proud. We want to win. We do it for ourselves, of course, but at least 20% of in the heart is for the fans.
Definitely. Thank you very much, Peter. It would have been great to have some more opinions from your teammates as well, but they've all run off, and so we'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for your time, and let's head back to the desk.
Yes, indeed. Paul, I think you've actually scared them off. I don't think they ran off. I think you scared them away. Now, Maniac, if we look at this team, Chad, if we look at this team, it wasn't looking like such a hot start in the first half.
Definitely not. They were looking very average, and I think we have to stop thanking the viewers. We know that they like to watch the games, and we like them here, but you know who you should be playing for? Yourself.
Well, that's what he said.
Yeah, but
also the cliche is like, oh, thanks to the support. At least be a little creative about it, right?
Yeah, you know who you could thank? Your mom.
Thank your mom. Your dad.
Normally pretty helpful in these kind of things. This round right here is the one I want to talk about, Trace. And that was where Dennis with the CZ in the clutch round situation. I think that was the biggest round, the most important round, because if you look at this game, the opening kills went 15-15, so both teams were having success in that regard in a 30-round game. But the clutches were the factor that I think differentiated things for NIP. They won 2-0 of Red Reserve, who I thought were going to take it after that very hot start.
Yeah, absolutely. I think NIP came into this game, as we discussed a little bit, with the loose style. They wanted to play the map control, but the thing is, on Overpass, it's extremely hard to do. It actually is a map that you need a lot of but like you need synchronization, you need cooperation if you want to take areas, because there are many possibilities for cities to pick you apart, and this is actually what happened, I feel like, during the game, and NIP kind of had to figure out the plan, because here's one example of what could happen, of how it happened for NIP at the beginning of their first half. You can see how Red Reserve basically had a game plan. They wanted to pick kills early. That happened in the link, then it happened again in the construction. They have these, what I would call semi-aggressive positions, where it's not completely all in, but you're in a position where you can punish the opponents. And really, for NIP, this was the resume of the 50% of the first half, let's put it this way.
Yeah.
Tried to play the map control, got punished for it very hard. But I was impressed at how they found solutions.
Yeah,
second half.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that was inspired. You did hear there that you need to be a comedian while playing Counter-Strike as well during Peter's interview about cracking jokes, but it's more about keeping the mood light and making sure people don't get too in their own heads. But Dennis there, for me, was the most instrumental factor for NIP turning this one around. When you do consider clutches in a game that goes 16-14, that's such a huge factor. I think Hampus also, for me, from Red Reserve, was impressive with his opening kills. I think he had the most, which was 6 in total. And then Twist on that AWP here was the best in the server with 12 kills. But in terms of, this one, Red Reserve are going to be disappointed. This was a great chance for them to upset NIP. They were looking like they were in the driver's seat in that first half until it all melted away.
Yeah, I mean, they started very strong, and of course, you kind of have to think about, too, if you're Ninja's Pajamas, you come into this one and you say, like, yes, we have Lekro, now we're going to fall into his program, his way that we want to approach the game between him and Pita. And this is probably a little shaky at first. It's probably a rhythm that they want to find and a sort of path that they want to find themselves on. And they found it eventually.
Yeah, I think, though, when you think about this team and Pita coming, sorry, not Pita, Lekro taking over the in-game leadership role, Pita's already established what he wants, right? Because Lekro isn't an experienced in-game leader. He's not really coming in with his own ideas. I think he's kind of being fed, this is the makeup of the team. This is what we were doing with Dennis as the in-game leader. You're kind of just going to make the decisions that we talk about when we do theory Counter-Strike, and he's just the guy who says, oh, this is the call, oh, this isn't the call. Right? He's the decision maker in the server. So that mantle, I don't think he's being too creative with it, but I might be wrong.
Well, only time will tell. But, Maniac, we are going to flip it now and kind of look at this head-to-head. And the two players that we've identified are going to be Brolin and Rez, who, of course, had significant impacts on both sides of the server. But let's start with Brolin. And, Maniac, what do you note?
Well, here's the thing. I think these statistics do not really pay the honors that Brolin deserves as a player overall, because I think 60 ADR is pretty quiet. 0.53 kills per round is also kind of because I would probably say a quiet game. If these are the stats of the game, I felt like he had a very good game. But
oh, it is the series. This series. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised because these numbers per se are not extremely impressive. But maybe there were impact kills. We say some statistics are not all the story, so that's probably what happened. I mean, 56% headshot, that is a good statistic here.
Well, was it Rez on that last round that had one of those really pivotal kills over towards bathrooms? I think it was when they were coming up through. So like you can look at, if you break down every single round in a close matchup, you can look to which ones were more impact kills. But for Brolin, he didn't have a fantastic game. He was down towards the bottom of the scoreboard. Obviously still relatively new to this whole kind of LAN scene scenario. He's one of these players who we're expecting a lot from in the future, but it's still early days for the youngster, the 16-year-old.
It's still early days, and in fact, this day is trucking along. We have now completed 2 best-of-1s to kick off Group B for the European minor here in London. And in the first game, we saw Sprout top King win 16-9, on Nuke, and then we went on now to watch a 16-14 showing by NIP in one that was hard fought by NIP. And actually there towards the later parts of the game, it kind of got a little close for him.
The thing is, I think for Lekro as an in-game leader, that game was a good test, because obviously he or they had to figure out solutions while playing this T side that could easily have gone out of control when you're down 8-1. The CDs have all the economy, they have all the utilities. So good test for him as an in-game leader, good test for the team as a squad. Looking forward to their next game, I guess.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one against Sprout, who obviously were winning a lot of clutch scenarios there, and we did tout that NIP won this game off the back of a couple of clutches. So it'll be interesting to see how they clash. It's another best of one. So far, as expected. You know, we've had NIP go through. Sprout, King of Game was 50-50, so not too much to really expect it to, I guess, look into there. But going into this matchup, I think we were all expecting NIP to be in the upper bracket.
Why don't we look into the social media stats of how that tweet went?
Oh, Chad? You want to have a look?
Let's go ahead and take a quick look, because you did use hashtag FACEITMiner.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
I believe that's exactly the hashtag that you should have used. Because if you didn't, then you really screwed us all on this one.
No, I did. Hashtag FACEITMiner. It had 6 comments, 6 retweets, and 131 likes.
That's not bad. I think we can do better. Traction? I'm pretty sure that we can do better. Either way, you can also do better by getting involved at home using hashtag FACEITMiner, or just, you know what, perhaps even head on over to the FACEIT website and then use Miners20, where you can get 20% off a discount on FACEIT Premium. The only way to play on the FACEIT servers when it comes to pugging properly. Now, when I say pugging, I mean it's a good building ground, a good training ground. But we're well past the training grounds, as these teams are trying to prove their way to get to the major, and this is the path to do it. When we come back, we're going to be looking at NIP versus Sprout in a best of one to determine who's going to be winning this bracket. Make sure you don't go anywhere. We will be right back.